I saved the whole sect by playing badly. Chapter 51. With her here, no surprise. Yi Qiao looked the two of them up and down, and couldn't help laughing. It's really interesting. Song Han was hanged upside down with Su Juo with his head down. The appearance of the two brothers and sisters was really amusing. Ming Xuan couldn't help poking Song Hansheng with his hands in embarrassment, and laughed. Ha 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 ha, you have today, Song Hansheng. Yu Qingzong is the sect that looks down on other talisman masters the most. He was very proud now, and Yi Qiao joined in the fun, so the two of them laughed wildly at Song Hansheng and the others like that perverted villain. Not to mention Song Han's voice, even Duan Hengdao was flustered when he heard it. Where's the identity card? Shen Ziwei came to do something serious, and he searched for the mustard bags for the first time, but he couldn't find it after searching for a long time. Obviously, after Song Hansheng learned the lesson of being eliminated in the first game, he became a lot smarter and hid his identity card in advance. Since he doesn't have an ID card, let's grab his mustard bag. Yi Qiao reached out and unceremoniously tore off the two's mustard bag, which contained a lot of talismans and spirit stones. She robbed them both in full view. When it comes to money, Yi Qiao is always extraordinarily enthusiastic and full of motivation. Is this a personal transmission? This is clearly a group of bandits. I couldn't help but look at Ming Xuan's identity introduction. The second young master of the direct line of the Ming family. Shit. Which direct line has this kind of character? This stuff is unbelievable. The higher-ups say that Yi Qiao is a taciturn and honest person. Ha 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 ha. Okay, I understand. The outrageous level of identity introduction is no less than Yi Qiao is an honest person, right? Ming Xuan erased the branding on their mustard bag, and found Song Hansheng's pair of underwear inside. He frowned in disgust. Song Hansheng is a bit of a pervert, right? Even put the underwear into the mustard bag. Little junior sister, he said in disgust, we don't want their talismans anymore. These men are too dirty. Seeing the two bright red underwear, Yi Qiao was silent for a while, and couldn't help it. Brother, is this the year of your birth? It was fine if she didn't speak, but when she spoke, Song Hansheng's face instantly turned red like a prawn, and he roared angrily, what are you looking at? You two wait for me. They're all here for the competition. Who would have thought that someone would rob the mustard bag if they have nothing to do? What happened to him decorating his personal belongings? Exclamation mark. What's wrong with their Chang Mingzong? Some audience members were silent for a long time before choking out a sentence. This group of personal transmissions are all playing abnormally. In the eyes of everyone, those who can afford to be passed on are those who are high-end, elegant, and cold and untouched by the world. Until now, there is nothing left of the force. They seriously doubted that this group of unreliable personal transmissions is really the future of their cultivation world. Duan Hengdao looked at the two disciples of the Yuqing sect who were hanging, and pursed his lips in bewilderment. How should we deal with them now? Yi Qiao didn't turn her head back. Let's tie it up first. If it doesn't work, find someone to guard it. I think senior brother is quite suitable. Zhou Exingyun was in a panic, looking for him to guard. Whoever comes to save someone, kills someone. What an easy job. Of course, the premise of all this is that they can find Zhou Exingyun. Duan Hengdao hesitated for a second, then decisively followed suit. The two teams broke up, leaving only Song Hansheng and Su Juo who were hanging to feel the bitter wind and rain in the secret realm together. After being beaten by Song Hansheng for a while, Yun Qiu became a lot more honest in the secret realm. Her cultivation base is not weak, and her talent is also high. Coupled with her identity as a talisman cultivator, a sect threw an olive branch just after entering the secret realm. She cooperates. Si Miaoyan was the first to meet Yun Qiu. Both of them are girls, and with Yun Qiu's low IQ appearance, Si Miaoyan quickly reached an agreement with each other to cooperate. Having learned the lesson of Song Hansheng last time, everyone hid their ID badges in advance, so as not to give Yi Qiao a chance to sneak attack for a long time. Simiao said, "Your Yue Kingzong wants to take the first place. We don't have high requirements for this round. The third place is fine." Yun Qiu's voice was soft. "Then what do you want to do?" A group of reckless people from the Sword Inquiring School is not enough evidence. The Sword Inquiring School will most likely seek cooperation from Chang Mingzong's Fu Xiu. Si Miaoyan smiled slightly. "Let's eliminate Chang Mingzong's Mingxuan first." Among the 5 sects, Changming's sect is the weakest and does not pose any threat to the number 1. It is impossible for Yi Qing'an to seek cooperation from Yuqing sect. The only talisman cultivator left is Mingxuan. As long as Mingxuan is eliminated, she will see who else Janzong can find to cooperate. Hearing that Chang Mingzong was going to be dealt with first, Yun Qiu immediately agreed. She didn't think much of Yi Qiao when she was in Yuqingzong, but since she entered the secret realm, everyone has a big prejudice against her. She is obviously the genius, but in the end everyone's attention is focused on Yi Qiao. Yun Qiu was eager to prove himself, and agreed to Si Miaoyan's suggestion without hesitation. It's not just Si Miaoyan who has this idea, Qin Huai and the others also think the same way. As long as Mingxuan can be eliminated, they will be stable in this round. The audience couldn't help but mourn. Poor Mingxuan. Except for Janjianzong, all other sects want him to die now. Don't die, it's just elimination tilde. If Mingxuan is not dead, won't Janzong take off? His death is the best choice. The first day in the secret realm was relatively calm, and Yi Qiao and Mingxuan worked together to kill a lot of monsters along the way. The speed is also faster than other teams. This quickly attracted the attention of the elders. Hey! The elder of Changfeng sect's eyes widened. These 2 children are faster than others. Obviously something is wrong. How did Mingxuan manage to avoid all the legacy formations? Not stepping on a single formation, even Song Hansheng couldn't do it. But if it's 2 talismans, that's another story. The elders of Changfeng sect have always suspected that Qin Fanfan, an old man, is hiding something secretly. What made Qin Fanfan gratified was that these few direct disciples did not fail, but really started to look for the monster's lair. The ranking has been rising, and finally stabilized at the 3rd place. At this location, the Bishui sect and Yun Qiu are also rushing here. Going to hit it. Ellipsis. Si Miaoyan looked at the 2 people facing him. The corners of her lips twitched. She didn't expect her to be so lucky. If Mingxuan was with Mu Chongxi, she would have to weigh whether she could beat her. But Yi Qiao didn't have this concern anymore. Could a foundation building turn the world upside down? Without giving the 2 of them a chance to react, just before seeing the person, Si Miaoyan lowered his eyes slightly, and blew a long flute sound. The tune was brisk and slightly strange with ups and downs. Yi Qiao suddenly pulled out a thread as if the consciousness in her mind was pulled by someone, and her expression went blank for a moment due to the pain. Mingxuan ignited the soundproof talisman, but it had no effect, and his face turned pale for a moment. It's Yin Gong. In the cultivation world, some master bows, some use flutes, and some only use swords. Cultivators who can integrate various magic weapons are very few geniuses. Mingxuan spoke quickly. Clearwater sect can get here safely with a few alchemists. Obviously they have other magic weapons. The soundproof note can't stop it. Bearing the stinging pain from the divine sense, the 2 of them looked worse than the other, and it was thanks to the strength of the divine sense that they didn't faint on the spot. I'm sorry. Simiaoyan's voice was slightly cold, and he was speaking to Mingxuan. You are too threatening. She did not give the two of them a chance to cooperate with Yun Q, and used formations to divide the battlefield. The sound of the flute sounded again, coupled with the endless killing formations. The two of them simply couldn't last a few rounds in this state. TSK TSK TSK. These dolls are fighting quite fiercely. Yi Qiao can cooperate with Cheng Fengong, and of course Yun Q can also cooperate with Danshu, but I didn't expect Si Miaoyan to be able to attack Yin Gong. So, both hands are hidden. This year's disciples are all very talented. That cloud magpie is also good. Qin Fanfan drank several sips of water, slapped the table angrily. Shameless old man, he even hides a Danshu who can attack with music. The old god of the Bishui sect took a look at him, disdainful. This is called tactics, soldiers never tire of deceit. Qin Fanfan shut himself up. He really didn't dare to look at the next scene, so he found a reason to run away. The head of the Clear Water sect smiled and was very happy. Hey, why are you so fragile mentally? Deal with Ming Xuan first. Si Miaoyan's goal was very clear, and Yi Qiao was not something to be afraid of in her eyes. Yun Q immediately accelerated the operation of the formation. The cold light was cold, and countless sword shadows stabbed at her at this moment. Yi Qiao's face was pale from the pain, and she had to deal with the annoying things in the formation. At this moment, she was extremely irritable. Yi Qiao sneered, "Okay, you forced us to do this." She rolled on the spot to avoid the stabbing sword, and took out a suona from the mustard bag with no expression on her face. The preparations were too complete on the day when the debt was due, but considering how much face Yue Kingzong didn't blow the suona, it doesn't matter now, it can be used. She wiped the blood from her ears, and shouted in Ming Xuan's direction, "Second senior brother, where are your gongs and drums? Take it out and hit her." Seeing this, Ming Xuan, who was avoiding the ultimate move in the formation, hastily dug out the gongs and drums from the mustard bag. It's not that he is stingy, even a gong and drum has to be brought into the secret realm. But that day when I came back from beating gongs and drums with the big troops, I was so sleepy that I stuffed it into the mustard bag and forgot to take it out. Ming Xuan had been holding back thinking of witty words for a long time. His spiritual sense was almost the most vulnerable part, and he could become a fool if he used too much force. At that time, the piercing pain came from time to time and blood dripped from his ears, which made others a little perverted. Upon hearing Yi Qiao's words, Ming Xuan's beautiful face gradually showed a ferocious smile, pointed in the direction of Si Miaoyan, and quickly knocked down the hammer. "Come on, hurt each other." He just said that he had such a miserable life before because he didn't follow the right person. In the past, he followed the third junior brother and the others to the secret realm, and was chased like a dog every day. Now it is much more comfortable to follow Yi Qiao. When Si Miaoyan outside heard Yi Qiao's voice, "You forced us," his fingers paused slightly, feeling a bad premonition for some reason. Next second. Bang! The sound of gongs and drums colliding, and the symphony of the ensemble with suona sounded continuously from the secret place in an instant. There is a sound of gongs and drums, followed by a sound of suona, one in front and one in back. The voices of the two were so loud that the personal team not far away could hear them. It's so lively. Mu Chongshi folded his hands, biting the dog's tail grass, and blinked strangely. Is anyone getting married in this secret realm? It is the sound of gongs and drums and the sound of suona. Zhu Yu frowned. Let's find junior sister and the two of them earlier. The two of them established a foundation and the other reached a peak foundation. If they really met Yi Qing'an and the others, they would only be eliminated. They don't pursue the first place, they're trapped in the formation, they leisurely try various positions slowly, and finally find a breakthrough. It's very comfortable if you don't roll inward. Mu Chongshi nodded indiscriminately. I know. Are you still worried about Yi Qiao? With her here, it's no accident. The corner of Zhu Yu's mouth twitched. But he was afraid that Yi Qiao would do something again. Ellipsis. The two sounds lingered in the surroundings endlessly, and the impact that directly hit the soul was so great that Simiaoyan's pupils trembled slightly. The movement of playing the flute stopped for a second, and the rhythm and tone changed in an instant. Yi Qiao took the opportunity to fill the Xuanjian with Qingfeng Ju and slashed towards the weakest point of the formation. The formation broke inch by inch in an instant and turned into ashes. The elder of Chengfeng's sect frowned. With such a fast speed, does she know formation? Yi Qiao and Mingxuan broke out of the formation almost at the same time, so let's forget about Mingxuan, he is a talisman after all. But as a swordsman, she actually knows formations. An elder explained, it should be a coincidence. They didn't see Yi Qiao observing the layout of the formations just now, but with a light and skillful swing of the sword, the formations were broken. It was purely a blind cat meeting a dead mouse. Don't touch us. Elder Zhao blew his beard and stared. Maybe it's because Yue Qingzong's formation is too fragile. Isn't it too much? Elder Yue Qingzong gritted his teeth. What do you mean the breaking formation is too brittle? The elder of Chengfengzong had a complicated look on his face. In fact, he had always suspected that Changmingzong might be hiding something. Anyway, it is also the top 5 sects. Will Qin Fanfan really let a disciple who is only mediocre and mediocre in foundation building become a personal heir for no reason? To be honest, the things those two people took out just now almost sent him away. It's gongs and drums, and it's Suona again. Who doesn't bring magical artifacts and medicines in the secret realm, but such useless things? Are there really any normal people in your Changming sect? If there is no such showy operation, with Si Miaoyan's surprise and Yun Qiu's continuous cooperation, let alone a Mingxuan who is at the peak of foundation establishment, and Yi Qiao who is at the early stage of foundation establishment, even Yi Qing'an will rest when he comes. Vegetable. In the end, who would have thought of this? Even if they were killed, they would never have thought of this. Hey, these two bastards survived. Qin Fanfan was too scared just now, so he went to the toilet, just to avoid the fate of his two disciples being eliminated. As a result, as soon as he came back anxiously, he saw the scene of two disciples breaking the formation together. Duan Yu, who was so nervous that he stood up, sat back slowly when he saw the two people coming out, and gave Qin Fanfan a glance. Pay attention to the words you use. What does it mean to have survived? Those who don't know think that their 5 great competitions are some kind of murder scene. Qin Fanfan turned a deaf ear and kept asking, how did you survive? How did you survive the repeated bombings by Yin Gong? He guessed, could it be that Zhou Xingyun's kid arrived and came out to save the scene? Forehead. What to say? Duan Yu's expression became more subtle, and he hesitated for a moment in an indescribable tone. Old fan, hey, have you heard of the combination of Suona and gongs and drums? Chevron, I saved the whole sect by playing badly. Chapter 52. Qin Fanfan, what? What is the combination of Suona and gongs and drums? Can this thing be combined? After you're done, you can go back and look at the picture stone by yourself. Duan Yu's tone was erratic. The two children just took out the gongs, drums and a Suona. The movement just now, I reckon the whole secret realm heard it. No matter how calm Si Miaoyan was, she couldn't stand the ensemble of these two people knocking and blowing. When the tone was messed up, the two immediately caught the opportunity to break Yun Qiu's formation. Qin Fanfan sat back subconsciously. Hearing these words, his eyes widened again. Why is she bringing these things? Duan Yu, you ask me, I'll ask who to go to. The ghost knows what these children's mustard bags are filled with, including gongs, drums and suonas. However, Duan Yu is relieved when he thinks that Yue Qingzong's group also packed underwear. He found that this year's personal biography was more or less flawed. Used to it. Qin Fanfan has never felt the feeling of being tortured, but to him, it is a good thing that the two disciples are alive. He immediately laughed so hard that he couldn't see his teeth. That kid Yi Qiao can do it. Qin Fanfan was sure that if it wasn't Yi Qiao who got together with Ming Xuan today, then Ming Xuan would definitely have to be eliminated. Disciples like Yi Qiao are very turbulent, but they never fell off the chain during the big competition, which makes people love and hate. After breaking out of the formation, the situation is 2-on-2. Si Miaoyan took a deep breath, put away the clarinet, lean on. Next time she enters a secret realm, she must bring earplugs in. These two people sang together just now, which broke her long-standing conventional cognition. Si Miaoyan decided to confront them head-on. Since Ming Xuan had to be eliminated anyway, she and Yun Qiu were both in the golden core stage, so it was easy to deal with the two foundation establishments. Yi Qiao estimated the combat power of the next two parties. In broad daylight, the sky is bright, you actually. In the next second, her words turned sharply, run. Chang Mingzong's personal biography is a master of group running, and in the blink of an eye, the two of them ran for 2 miles. Si Miaoyan was dumbfounded for a moment. Ming Xuan was dragged by her to run fast. He was stunned. We just retreated without a fight and ran away. What is running away? Yi Qiao corrected his wrong grammar. We call this retreat. Ellipsis. On the first day, Chang Mingzong's rankings were rare. Ming Xuan and Yi Qiao cooperated well, and the two talisman cultivators had very wide spiritual senses, so they could escape even if they were in danger. For a while, it was like a loach, unable to catch it. Looking at the constantly changing rankings, Qin Huai gradually became a little impatient. The ranking so far is Yu Qingzong first, Chang Mingzong second, and Zhan Jianzong third. Do you want to cooperate? Zhai Chen took the initiative to approach him and asked. You need talismans, and we need to get rid of Ming Xuan. Obviously Chang Mingzong threatened their number one position. Zhai Chen didn't understand. He had never seen Ming Xuan so powerful before. How did the other party manage to get close to the number one without stepping on a single formation in the ancient secret realm? When the time comes, our Yuqing sect will be number one, and your Changfeng sect will be second. How about it? It was impossible for Qin Huai to agree to this kind of transaction before changing his job. Wanian's second child and the others have already been treated as Fengong. But judging from the current trend, if they don't cooperate with Yue Qingzong, they may be the last one in this countdown. Okay. After weighing for a while, Qin Huai agreed. The audience is looking forward to it. How did Ming Xuan do it? With his own strength, so many sects want to get rid of him. The big tree attracts the wind. It's almost number one. It's the first time I've seen Chang Mingzong rank so high. It seems that since that little junior sister got started, the situation of Chang Mingzong's countdown has been reversed, but it is only the first day, and it is easy to be slapped in the face if you make a conclusion too early, so no one dares to say too much. Yi Qiao and Ming Xuan pulled up all their hatred, and almost everyone chased them around in the secret realm. Ming Xuan couldn't help complaining in a low voice. Let me tell you, now everyone in this group of people thinks that I'm very talented, and they all hate me. No one knew that their sect actually had 2 talisman cultivators, and those people took it for granted that Ming Xuan relied on his profound understanding of the battle method to make his ranking soar. Yi Qiao, thank you for your hard work. When you are eliminated, I will lead our sect to victory. Ming Xuan, thank you. As soon as the words were finished, a savage sword energy struck across the air. The two of them quickly dodged and were blocked by Qin Huai and Zhai Chen. Die! Qin Huai picked up the sword and flew towards Ming Xuan. Yi Qiao's reaction was far slower than his, and he threw the Xuan sword directly. In an instant, it collided with the sword energy and broke in the air. What a fierce sword move! Yi Qiao had used it for so long to have feelings, but she was suddenly broken by someone, and she was in pain for a long time. Go back and ask master to give me another one. Qin Fanfan outside the arena was very happy. Give it, not to mention one sword, as long as she can take the first place, she will also give 10 profound swords. After mumbling, Yi Qiao's unscrupulous expression also subsided. Qin Huai's sword moves continued one after another, and the opponent's speed was much faster than his own. Not only faster, the sword energy passed through the chill, as if it was integrated with the sword in his hand. Compared to his own effort, he seemed a little more comfortable. The suppression of the realm is no joke. What's more, compared to the personal teachings of how to use a sword at the age of 7 or 8, Yi Qiao, a latecomer who has only learned it for half a year, is obviously not enough. When Zhai Chen took advantage of Yi Qiao and Qin Huai's confrontation, he also chased after Ming Xuan. Obviously, the goal of both of them is to eliminate Ming Xuan. As long as Yi Qiao holds on, Qin Huai is free to deal with Ming Xuan. In this case, Ming Xuan can exchange one for another. After all, he was from the 8 great families. Even if he was one level behind, Ming Xuan could still draw with Zhai Chen only with the blessing of talismans and mental skills. As long as Yi Qiao can hold Qin Huai. But it's impossible to let a foundation building early stage delay a golden core stage. Yi Qiao was good at dodging, but under the pressure of the absolute realm, she was a little weak. She was hit twice in a row, and her throat was full of blood. She stood up without expression, and quickly analyzed the sequence of Qin Huai's moves in her mind. In this case, it's useless to blindly dodge. Duan Yu's expression tensed up. He is the one who has been mentoring Yi Qiao for the longest time. This child always seems to run away in class. People hate iron but not steel. But if you push her to the limit, it will be very difficult. Duan Yu remembered that what stimulated her not long ago was when she was halfway through the practice, and it was time to eat. She was lying down and let him beat her up, but she got up numbly in the next second. I have to stimulate her a little bit to give her a little bit of fighting spirit. Seeing Yi Qiao retreating steadily, Ming Xuan was also extremely anxious, but he couldn't make a move. Once he wanted to rush to help, he was immediately stopped by Zhai Chen. He pulled his lips and sneered, "I can't protect myself, so why worry about Yi Qiao?" Ming Xuan turned his head and met Zhai Chen's eyes. Suddenly he thought of something and shouted loudly, "Yi Qiao! 100 million, 100 million. He hinted wildly, "For our 100 million. The audience was dumbfounded. What is 100 million? Soon they found that Yi Qiao, who was still a bit invincible in the face, changed her eyes when she heard these words. She didn't choose to dodge blindly anymore, and kicked him on the left shoulder with a roundabout kick, kicking him out of the safe range. Qin Huai didn't expect that she would suddenly change her route. Wasn't she still running all the time? Yi Qiao picked up the bamboo shoots at her waist with one hand. The ordinary stick, with a tendency to destroy the dead, brushed past the sword in Qin Huai's hand. The shadow of the sword hit the wrist, and Qin Huai almost lost his grip on the sword. Chang Mingzong's swordsmanship is based on speed, and Yi Qiao cooperated well with Ta King Feng and King Feng Ju. Qin Huai's heart sank slightly, and he also found Yi Qiao's difficulty. Especially when the opponent was fighting head-on, he really couldn't deal with her quickly. Ellipsis. The battle on the other side is also heating up. The two exchanged formations, and when the distance was getting closer, they hooked each other's mustard bag and touched each other's identity cards almost at the same time. As long as it is crushed, it will be the end of both. Ming Xuan maintained a casual smile, Why don't you give me my ID card, and I'll give it to you too. Zhai Chen, okay, give it to me first. As soon as the words fell, the two of them crushed each other's identity cards at the same time. Ming Xuan sighed, what about the trust between people? You make me so sad. Zhai Chen, it's as if you didn't pinch it. After the dust settled, everyone sat down with sighs. Qin Fanfan said, that kid Yi Qiao also tried her best. It's amazing to be able to hold Qin Huai for so long. The two teamed up to force Ming Xuan to be eliminated, but Yi Qiao couldn't stop it at all. Elder Zhao exhaled slowly, it's over. Completely finished. What is there to play when the only talisman repair is gone? Different from Qin Fanfan's lifeless mood, Ming Xuan rarely felt extremely relaxed. It's good to be eliminated, and he will start to look bad after being eliminated. When receiving the news that Ming Xuan and Zhai Chen were out at the same time, Mu Chongxi's expression remained unchanged. It's okay, anyway, there is a little junior sister. Coincidentally, Zhu Yu thought so too. Zhou Xingyun looked at the calmer juniors, and calmed down. Fine. If you are not in a hurry, then I am not in a hurry either. So the four of them looked calmer than the other, as if Ming Xuan's exit had no effect on them. So calm. Do they have any cards? Look, they won't be able to laugh later. Losing a talisman, how to walk in the secret realm afterwards is a problem. The price of asking the sword sect next door without talisman cultivation is one step at a time, one day without doing anything, and being trapped in the formation every day. The experience was inhumane. After Ming Xuan came out of the secret realm, he pushed away the little girls who were trying to pounce on him. When asked what mood he was in, he said leisurely, no particular mood. If I really want to say it, although my body can no longer accompany them to fight in the secret realm. Ming Xuan said solemnly, but our soul is with them. Don't think that we didn't see the relaxed look on your face because of the righteous words you said. Seeing that the second senior brother was eliminated, Yi Qiao had no other thoughts but envious envy. If it wasn't for the fact that she was left with a talisman, she would really like to go to the elimination table. Mayu. Seeing the two darkened names, Yi Qing'an frowned. 2 talismans were eliminated on the first day, and this group of people can make a lot of noise. Unlike their asking sword sect, they're still trapped in the formation and cannot get out. I have to find a talisman to cooperate, otherwise let alone the first place, I won't be able to keep the top 3. The little junior sister held a sword in her hand and said calmly. Yi Qing'an pursed his lips, his voice was slightly cold, Ming Xuan is out. If Yue Qingzong wanted to take the first place, it was impossible to cooperate with them. After all, Zhangjianzong was also a threat to them. The junior sister's tone also became irritable. Those talisman cultivators are also blind, and they all go to the Yuqing sect. Are there any differences in the personal resources of other sects? Yi Qing'an also became depressed. But for some reason, the image of Yi Qiao throwing the talisman in the great secret realm flashed vaguely in his mind. Perhaps, someone was left out by him. Ellipsis. I underestimated you. Qin Huai also spoke slowly. When he received the news that Zhai Chen was out of the competition, he realized that he had been entangled by Yi Qiao for too long. Obviously, a foundation establishment should be resolved soon in his plan. Indeed, Yi Qiao wasn't overwhelmed by the compliment at all, she had a calm expression on her face. The geniuses in the grand competition, one is my elder brother, and the other is Yi Qing'an. And there's another underrated genius, and that's me. The elders outside the court rolled their eyes. Blow it and you will. They still didn't forget to make a few remarks at this kind of time. It was because they underestimated Yi Qiao's face. The corner of Qin Huai's mouth turned cold. It won't be too late to say such things after you escape from my grasp. Yi Qiao had some bad luck, as if she felt that being chased and beaten by Qin Huai wasn't bad enough. Duan Hengdao and Shen Ziwei also rushed over at the same time. 1, 2, 3. She counted. 3 people in total. All 3 personal heirs of Cheng Fengong have arrived. Yi Qiao, don't you think it's immoral for the 3 of you to beat me up? Qin Huai couldn't believe it. Need to talk about morality with you. She is the most immoral one. While speaking, Yi Qiao was hit by the wind knife continuously. She stabilized her body and reached out to touch the mustard bag. She didn't intend to use these things at first. She was afraid that Mingxuan would be affected if the scene was out of control. But now that Mingxuan is gone, Yi Qiao naturally has nothing to worry about. There are landmines in the mustard bag, and there are many strange talismans in the middle of the pistol of the cultivation version. So Yi Qiao, under everyone's eyes, also slowly took out a weird magic weapon. Is it a magic weapon? Not only the monks hadn't seen it, even the master of Changfeng Sect hadn't seen it. He looked at Qin Fanfan in a daze. What is this? Qin Fanfan. How would I know that? He has always been a herd, so he doesn't know much about Yi Qiao. He only knows that a few of his personal friends like to fool around with her, skipping class and going down the mountain when they have nothing to do. As for what they were doing in private, Qin Fanfan was really confused. Yi Qiao showed a bewildered smile, picked up the gun in her hand and slowly pointed it at the Changfeng Sect members. Let's see if your swords are faster, or my speed of firing talismans is faster. She aimed at the 3 of them and fired indiscriminately throughout the whole process. Seeing this, Qin Huai's shuriken turned and knocked away the talisman she was shooting from. So fast. Duan Hengdao was shocked. Yi Qiao is filled with ha-ha talismans, creeping talismans, mushroom talismans, and other random things, and it depends on who is unlucky enough to be shot by her. She shot down. Qin Huai was the first to get hit. He frowned and didn't feel any lethality, but the next second he laughed uncontrollably. Yi Qiao laughed too, and ran away. Ha, ha, ha. Don't run. While laughing wildly, Qin Huai was mad at the same time. Holding a sword in his hand, he was bound to eliminate Yi Qiao as a variable. Strange people can easily affect their performance when they can't stop laughing. His laughter was like that pervert forcing the girl who lost her footing, which made the monks outside the venue unable to bear to look directly at her. Can we stop laughing? Can't stop, let me say. Is Mingxuan so damaged? Give back the talisman to his junior sister before coming here. Get out of the way. Seeing this, Shen Ziwei wanted to chase after her anxiously, but Duan Hengdao hugged her thigh. The talisman he was hit was a bit similar to the phantom talisman, and he would regard whatever he saw as what he wanted most in his heart. Duan Hengdao grabbed him excitedly, and stretched out his hand to pull Shen Ziwei's pants. He tilde spirit weapon, what a big spirit weapon. This distorted Shen Ziwei's face, and she had to give up hunting Yi Qiao in order to defend her dignity. If he could, he really wanted to give this mentally retarded 2 slaps. Fuck Zongman affection. I have no relationship with you idiots. This is like the scene of the dementia in the world of the relatives, so that the other elders can't help but look away. It is estimated that after the end of this battle, the entire comprehension world will know the scene of the collective illness of the disciples. Qin Huai pursued her relentlessly, and his thunderous sword strokes chopped down dead trees not far away. Yi Qiao was still unscathed, and she still had the leisure to turn her head to check the battle situation. After confirming that the water was muddy enough, she quickly ran away on the bamboo shoots. Without Mingxuan to protect, she would be terribly comfortable alone. Although the talisman in Yi Qiao's hand is not fatal, it is disgusting. Moreover, Yi Qiao's concealed weapon shot out fast and numerous talismans, Except for Shen Ziwei, who quickly built a protective shield with quick eyes and hands, the others were all hit while dodging. I can only say that this group of relatives is not united enough, but if Fan Du and Heng Dao took out his defensive magic weapon earlier, he wouldn't be in this situation. It's normal for people to not fight against each other, that's why there are team battles for them to run in with each other. As long as Qin Huai can be more vigilant, he won't be posted, okay. And you have so many weapon cultivators in Changfeng Sect, no one can see what she is holding. Don't tell me, no one really knows what it is. Zhai Chen, who was in the elimination seat, finally couldn't bear it anymore. Why are you drawing such a perverted talisman when you have nothing to do? Ming Xuan, who was murdered by the wind commentary, was silent for a while. Do you believe me when I say that I didn't draw it? I saved the whole sect by playing badly. Chapter 53. Facing Cheng Fengong's relentless pursuit, Yi Qiao turned her head and gave him a shuttle. Qin Huai not only had to catch up with her speed, but also to avoid the endless stream of talismans. He was going crazy. How many talismans does this Yi Qiao have? Is Ming Xuan the liver emperor? Why don't you sleep every day to draw such crooked things? The talisman in Yi Qiao's hand is not without related talisman books on the market, but in the eyes of other talisman cultivators, this kind of talisman is a low-end thing, a waste of time and consciousness, and has no lethality. I never thought that one day someone would bring this kind of talisman to the arena. The key effect is not bad. At least it gave Yi Qiao a good time to escape. Ha 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 ha. Qin Huai gritted his teeth with a distorted face. Stop her. It was absolutely impossible for him to watch Yi Qiao go to meet up with Chang Mingzong's people. As soon as Qin Huai finished speaking, he found that the two apprentices were not moving. He turned his head and saw Shen Ziwei holding his belt tightly, defending his dignity. Eldest brother, he's crazy. Shen Ziwei wanted to cry without tears and shook his legs, and was tightly hugged by Duan Hengdao. Qin Huai laughed crazily for a while, and when he finally returned to normal, he stretched out his hand and directly tore off the talisman behind Duan Hengdao. Facing the two who had finally returned to normal, Shen Ziwei breathed a sigh of relief, tightened his pants tremblingly, and talked about business. What should we do next? The current ranking is Yu Qingzong first, Chang Mingzong second, Chang Fengzong third, and Wen Jianzong probably doesn't know which formation he is trapped in. This trip is not completely fruitless, at least Ming Xuan is eliminated. That Yi Qiao. He paused. Leave her alone if you can't catch her. The people of Chang Mingzong are like slippery loaches, there is no need to waste time with them. Anyway, Ming Xuan is gone, and Chang Mingzong is not afraid. Our focus this time is Yu Qingzong. Ellipsis. Ming Xuan was eliminated, Yi Qiao was finally chased by no one, and she could completely let go of the waves. Yi Qiao didn't regard the ancient battlefield as a human being at all, and the elders outside the field were taken aback for a moment by her trance-like attitude. This girl is so lucky. Avoids so many formations. Qin Fanfan immediately explained. Luck is also a part of strength. That is to say, why is Jianzong so unlucky? It was also a sword cultivator, but he was trapped for 2 full days, forcing Yi Qing'an to rush to Yue Qingzong to tie a talisman and come back to lead them. Qin Fanfan also fell silent for a moment. Yes. This luck is too good, right? Yi Qiao's familiarity with the ancient battlefield is still due to Yu Guanxi's whipping. Every time she comes back from the mountain, she either copies the alchemy book or the talisman book. If you can carry it on your back, how can you step on it? The second day of the mystery. Yi Qiao finally found the other 3 senior brothers to reunite. When she found the 3 of them, she found that the 3 senior brothers were all badly placed in the formation. One lay down to sleep, and the other counted ants on his stomach. The other one is not so normal either, Where is it digging soil? Seeing this, Yi Qiao stepped in and kicked Mu Chongxi. Wake up. The formation allows people to pass through, but it is difficult to get out. Mu Chongxi, who was kicked awake, rubbed his eyes and was surprised. Hey, you came back alive. In this secret realm, whoever is with Fu Xiu will be unlucky. After Ming Xuan is eliminated, Mu Chongxi is ready for the two Fu Xiu to disappear together. By the way, why is Ming Xuan gone? I met Qin Huai and the others. Yi Qiao replied honestly. In the end, he and Zhai Chen changed one another. Mu Chongxi sighed. Oh. I didn't expect him to be useful, and he took away a talisman. An elder outside the court analyzed. To be able to die together with Zhai Chen in the Jindan period, Ming Xuan is also quite powerful. If both of Changmingzong are Jindan this year, they can really compete with the other two sects for the first place. Pity. Yi Qiao looked at the three seniors who were out of state. She took out the suona from the mustard bag, and asked friendlily, do you need to wake you up? She said and blew. Zhou Xingyun was so frightened that his hair almost stood on end. Zhu Yu, who was digging the soil, trembled and raised his head weakly. My own, don't brag. Mu Chongxi even jumped up directly. Damn. Okay. It's you and Ming Xuan who co-authored to beat gongs and drums in the secret realm while playing the suona. He just said, who is so wrong? The co-authors are Yi Qiao and Ming Xuan. That explains it. Mu Chongxi pointed at Yi Qiao with one hand, and Yi Qiao immediately slapped his hand away. What is perversion? I call it rational use of resources. That Si Miaoyan can play musical instruments. Yi Qiao said, be careful with her. But in a short period of time, I believe that Si Miaoyan doesn't want to join him. So you use the suona to deal with Yin Gong. Mu Chongxi could almost imagine Si Miaoyan's collapsed expression. He touched his chin. I also have gongs and drums in my mustard bag, and I also have the amplifying symbols given by Ming Xuan. When the time comes, the five of us will knock on her. What do you think? Yi Qiao. Try next time. Zhu Yu flipped through his mustard bag. What do you put in your mustard bag? There are suona and gongs and drums. Those who don't know may think that they are getting married in the secret realm. Mu Chongxi sat cross-legged on the ground. I have a pancake, do you want to eat it? Don't eat. Zhu Yu said, I brought buns. No. What do the disciples of Changmingzong think of the secret realm? Tourists. Heartbroken. Does the patriarch of the Zhu family know that their honorable young master has become like this? You probably don't know. You can see Ming Xuan in the elimination seat. It's all crooked. While the two unreliable senior brothers were talking, Yi Qiao also took out the formation-breaking talisman from the mustard bag, and stuck it on it, and the already weak formation was completely shattered. Now their Changmingzong is ranked second. If they work hard, this first place is not without hope. She put all the hatred in the first half on Ming Xuan. After Ming Xuan was eliminated, basically no sect would look at their Changmingzong, and they were extremely confident that eliminating Ming Xuan would be foolproof. Now, taking advantage of the lack of reaction from the other sect's personal heirs, Yi Qiao decided to act first and kill a few more monsters to get one step closer to the first place. Have you used up all the formation-breaking talismans Ming Xuan gave you? Yi Qiao asked. Mu Chongxi pointed at Zhou Xingyun faintly. Ask the big brother. He was so unlucky that he kept us in the formation. This is the number 30 formation we stepped on. The formation breaker is also used up. Seeing that they couldn't see it, the three of them just messed up. Just count down. If they lose to death, Changmingzong wins. Yi Qiao's mouth twitched when she heard it. In the game, Zhou Xingyun is definitely an unlucky non-chief. After rescuing the three resentful senior brothers, the four of them studied the map together for a long time, and finally Yi Qiao made a final decision. and she came to lead the way. The difficult monsters encountered on the road were also killed by Yi Qiao and Mu Chongxi together. She has never had a sword in her hand, and the mysterious sword she used before is broken, so she can only use Duaoju as a sword. Yi Qiao looked at the densely packed small snakes. Her scalp went numb for a moment, and the piercing sword Qi cut the turquoise snake into 2 pieces. As a result, the severed vine snake jumped more happily, spitting out the snake letter. Get closer to her. Without hesitation, she ignited Zhang Yuhuo talisman, threw it down, and tried to see if she could burn them all to death. As a result, the snake became even more fierce. It jumped up and tried to bite her, but Yi Qiao mercilessly knocked her away with a sword. It's useless, Yi Qiao. Mu Chongxi stepped on the sword, touched his arm and felt weird. I heard that this kind of snake needs to be chopped into pieces so that it won't continue to jump around alive. Yi Qiao frowned when she heard the words, collected the bamboo shoots, and took out the corpse of a monster from the mustard bag. She killed it on the way, because she could take it out to repair the spirit stone, so she put it inside. Yi Qiao hung a rope on the bamboo shoot to tie up the corpse of the monster. Then he found a higher position and threw the corpse of the monster into the group of snakes. In an instant, all the snakes gathered in one place, scrambling to eat the monsters. The moment they gathered together, Yi Qiao trapped them all together with the talisman, and said decisively, "Do it." Mu Chongxi slashed down with 2 sword tactics, and when it touched the body of the vine snake, it broke instantly. Seeing that it would continue to split, Yi Qiao followed closely, and flew into the pile of monsters, chop it up a little, or kill it. Not clean. This kind of monster is easy to kill, but it is a bit difficult to deal with, but it is very suitable for practicing sword arts. Yi Qiao has been trying the second style of Qingfengjue recently. Therefore, every time I encountered monsters, I didn't kill them all at once, but kept them for practice first. Zhu Yu distributed the practiced pills to his younger brothers and sisters to let them replenish their aura, and looked at the only idler present. "Brother, can you help me?" In the sect, Yi Qiao and Mu Chongxi were the youngest, one 15 and one 16, but they ended up working hard every day like hard-working bees. Zhu Yu almost said directly, "Are you embarrassed to gnaw at the old like this?" Zhou Exingyun was puzzled. Didn't they kill well? The younger brothers and sisters cooperated very well. Obviously this is not the first time they have cooperated. He pointed to the monster below, and it's not dangerous, it's just right for them to practice. The second form of the Qingfengjue has not been learned by the 2 idiots until now. Zhou Exingyun shook his head when he saw it. He could see that the little junior sister wanted to learn the second style, and she would open her mouth to give pointers from time to time, but unfortunately the number was too small. Seeing that Yi Qiao was about to catch something, all the vine snakes over there had been wiped out. Yi Qiao's aura was swept away. She moved her sore wrist, and sat on the ground with Mu Chongxi. Looking at the 2 juniors and juniors who were exhausted and leaning against each other. Zhou Exingyun had a rare conscience and dragged the corpse of the monster on the ground to them. Arranged them one by one from tall to short to form a Wi-Fi. Zhou Exingyun nodded in satisfaction. A row of monsters came down. Those who knew thought they were hunting monsters. Those who didn't know thought it was an auction. Seeing this, Yi Qiao twitched the corner of her mouth. This is probably one of the few loves from the elder brother. She stuffed a few pills into her mouth, wiped the sweat from her palms. "Let's go. Go to the next place." Zhu Yu hummed, staring at the rankings on the jade slips. If things go on like this, it will be a matter of time before they meet Yue Qingzong. Both of them are catching up very closely. Perhaps it was because Mingxuan and Yi Qiao cooperated so well that everyone believed that the reason why Chang Mingzong ranked so high was all due to Mingxuan. Now that Mingxuan is gone, the other personal disciples don't plan to take care of them anymore. As long as it goes well, It is really possible for their Chang Mingzong to rely on their wretched development and get the first place in this secret realm. The four of them walked together, but as they walked, Yi Qiao gradually realized that something was wrong. Mu Chongxi was trapped in an unknown formation, he was dragged and swallowed inside, and he subconsciously grabbed Zhu Yu. Zhu Yu was already annoyed by these endless formations. He said, "You stepped on it yourself, don't pull me, you can rest in peace." After finishing speaking, Zhu Yu was eager to try and took out a pill from the mustard bag, intending to put Mu Chongxi on the ground. Mu Chongxi immediately went to pull Zhou Xingyun's clothes. "Brother." Zhou Xingyun was even more ruthless. He took a knife to cut off the robe, and then looked at the neat gap. Zhou Xingyun was very satisfied. Yi Qiao. She almost gave these three unreliable personal pass with a punch. "I misunderstood Ming Xuan. Obviously the second senior brother is quite a normal person." Yi Qiao didn't have many formation-breaking talismans at the moment. She grabbed Mu Chongxi, but found that she couldn't pull it out, so she took a step forward and looked around the formation. Recalling in her mind the records in the Kingzong's formation book, Yi Qiao decided to break through one by one from the outside. When the sword wind swung to the inner wall, something bounced back. She increased the strength of the sword, basically knowing that the formation eyes were where is it. This formation is somewhat similar to Yue Kingzong's. It should be left behind by a disciple of Yue Kingzong. What is Yi Qiao doing? Break out. Breaking the formation basically has to be broken from the inside, but judging from Mu Chongxi's reaction, there is basically no chance to swing a sword after entering the formation, so Yi Qiao intends to break the formation from the outside. The difficulty from the outside is more than one level higher than the inside. Moreover, that was Yue Kingzong's formation. Zhou Xingyun also said, "Shall I tie Song Hansheng here?" Yi Qiao, "No need." She had learned Yu Qingzong's array technique, and it was thanks to Song Hansheng's generosity that Yu Qingzong's inner Sect talisman book was shown to her as soon as she said it, without any hesitation. As soon as the words fell, with the sound of the formation breaking, a circle of golden light bounced her away, and Mu Chongxi finally came out. Broken. Bold. Seeing this scene, the elder Yue Kingzong stood up in shock on the spot. How dare she secretly learn our Yu Qingzong's formation? If this formation is broken from the inside, it can be said that she is lucky. But from the outside, he wouldn't believe that she hadn't learned formations. Qin Fanfan's eyes also widened. Ha! His tone was completely astonished, but to the ears of the others, it was clearly ridicule and complacency. Qin Fanfan looked at the unbelievable faces of those old men, who looked as stable as old dogs on the surface, but panicked inside, and yelled back with the same loud voice. "What is the formation of your Yue Kingzong? Isn't the formation method used for people to learn?" "No, you too, is this the point? The point is that this fucking is actually a talisman. Chapter 54. This is your whole card." The master of Changfeng sect squinted his eyes, and his heart sank. Actually hid a talisman. He said why people like Chang Mingzong were not in a hurry at all, and the co-authors came prepared. So this is your Changming sect's trump card. One talisman repair, one sword talisman double repair. The elders never expected that the group of Chang Mingzong could hold back so much, and there was no rumor about a disciple who could achieve double cultivation in 2 ways for so long. Are you allowed to hide your hand? And we are not allowed to have multiple geniuses. Qin Fanfan immediately straightened his back, with the corners of his mouth flying, and replied triumphantly in the same tone, "We call it strategy." In an instant, he completely forgot about Yi Qiao's little problems of skipping classes, sleeping every day, and being idle. "What's the matter?" Exclamation mark. Maybe she is tired. Sword and symbol dual cultivation knowledge. See, is easy to feel tired. Is Yi Qiao called lazy? She is just tired. At this moment, Qin Fanfan has found all the reasons for his dear disciple. You all knew about this a long time ago. Elder Zhao was confused the whole time, looking at his suzerain's expression that he was fully in control. He poked Duan Yu next to him. That girl Yi Qiao turned out to be a sword talent double cultivator. Quote. The old man of Cheng Fengong asked himself a bunch of inexplicable questions every day. At that time, Elder Zhao felt that the old man had malicious intentions, so he had seen some signs that day and came to test himself. Duan Yu, if he knew, would he still beat Yi Qiao every day? Fushu and Danshu are quite rare in the world of comprehension. They have been waiting for Mingshuan and Zhu Yu for so many years. They must be protective. Therefore, only Mu Chongxi and Yi Yi were beaten frequently in the training class. Alice. But, Duan Yu thought guiltily, that kid Yi Qiao has rough skin and thick flesh, so he should be fine. Yi Qiao used Yue Qingzong's hand gestures, and she was not afraid of being seen. After the formation was broken, she pulled the fourth senior brother over. Don't step on it, just follow me. The formations are ever changing, derived from various sects 100 years ago, and some formations Yi Qiao has never seen before. The outside monks also exploded. What's the origin of this Yi Qiao? Dual cultivation of talisman and sword. Mingzong has been hiding it for so many years. Yi Qiao was able to use her mediocre spiritual roots as her personal heir, and everyone thought that the Changming sect was broken. I didn't expect that this little junior sister was really capable in it. Some fans of Janwenzong couldn't hold back after seeing this. Then I'll go and see what's going on at Changmingzong. Brothers, if I don't come back, remember to keep up. Sword talisman dual cultivation, the first one in the cultivation world, who would not want to see something new? Superficial. A monk scolded, unlike me, I went to see Changmingzong not because she can practice both ways, but mainly because I want to see what she can do. Ellipsis. Yi Qiao, who was ignorant of the uproar caused by the outside world, was still chatting. Did you meet Song Hansheng on the way? The place where she hung Song Hansheng was quite conspicuous, so everyone should have watched it. Mu Chongxi was very excited. Yes, I have recorded it with photo stones. Next time, I will go to the forum to see if anyone accepts it. I used 6 photo stones and can sell them at the price of 10 high-grade spirit stones. Go. Everyone has photo stones, you can record them outside, why buy yours? Yi Qiao thinks that no one will be the seed of resentment. How could Mu Chongxi have any plausible words? I took this from the first-person perspective, close to Song Hansheng at a close distance. Can they use the photo stone outside the venue to see it the same as the one in my hand? Makes sense. Yi Qiao said, remember to give me half of the lingxi you earn. Why? Yi Qiao pointed to herself. Human, I was the one who was tied up by Duan Hengdao. Can you take the picture without me? Mu Chongxi reluctantly said, okay. Then you will be 4 and I will be 6. The two simply bowed their heads and divided the loot, and led the way one after the other holding the map. When Zhou Xingyun learned that Song Hansheng was tied up by Yi Qiao and Changfeng sect, he hesitated for a moment, thinking that even if Yi Qiao collapsed the secret realm at this moment, he would not be surprised, really. Bai Shui sect and Yue King sect have cooperated. Zhu Yu leaned over to share the news with her. Cheng Feng sect has no intention of cooperating with any sect at present. Then there is only Sword Asking Zong left. Now Swordsmanship sect is ranked 4th. This may be the first time they have been ranked so low since the grand competition. Yi Qiao thought for a moment, then cooperate with Zhangjianzong. It happens that there are still some talismans in the mustard bag, which can be used to talk to them about joining forces. Zhu Yu touched his arm, feeling that she was going to mess up again. After Yi Qing'an came out of the formation, his face turned black when he saw the 4th place, and he once again clearly realized the importance of talisman repair. Faced with Chang Mingzong's initiative to come to the door and ask for cooperation, he did not refuse for the first time, but asked, "What capital do you have to cooperate with us?" "I have the talisman given by my second senior brother. Are you short of formation-breaking talismans?" In order to prove that she was not lying, Yi Qiao took out the talisman she had drawn and shook it for Yi Qing'an to see. The two were separated by a distance. Yi Qing'an squinted his eyes, resisting the urge to snatch it, and asked, "What do you want to do?" "Let's cooperate." She took a step closer to him. "You know the situation now, our Chang Mingzong is second, and next, how about doing Yu Qingzong first? I have a broken formation talisman, and I can help you if you are trapped." Help you? If Chang Mingzong wanted to take the first place, he must first solve the trouble of Yu Qingzong. Yi Qing'an stared at her intently. Seeing Yi Qiao's eyes were fixed, looking calm and composed, the young man pondered for a moment, and finally let go. "Yes. We are second, and you are first." This is of course a lie to her. They have always been the number one in Janzong, but first stabilize Yi Qiao. After all, she has the talisman given by Mingxuan, so it is not appropriate to have a conflict now. Yi Qing'an will deal with them when she has almost used up her talismans. Who can kill a donkey without grinding? Coincidentally, Yi Qiao also thought so. The two people with their own ghosts exchanged briefly for a while, and barely reached a consensus to deal with Yue Qingzong first. Relying on the presence of his elder brother, Yi Qing'an didn't dare to sneak attack, and walked in front of the two teams. Chu Xingji was the one who was most dissatisfied with the cooperation. He hummed along the way, and he hummed when he saw Yi Qiao, and he hummed again when he turned his head to see Mu Chongxi. "Zhu Yu, are you a pig?" Chu Xingji. When the two sects meet, friction is unavoidable. Chu Xingji always likes to look at people. Tap the screen to leave the whole sect by playing badly. Chapter 55. The two teams walked all the way to the marked location on the map, and they all rushed to kill the monsters here before Yue Qingzong. Thanks to Yi Qiao, it was rare for the group of Wenjianzong not to step on the formation. This made Yi Qing'an believe in Mingxuan's strength even more. The closer it was to the destination, the drizzle gradually began to fall from the sky. The corrosive rainwater felt scorching hot when it fell on her hands. Yi Qiao touched it. She had seen this kind of rain before. "I didn't expect to meet again today." Yi Qing'an frowned. "Which one of you has a defensive magic weapon?" "No," junior sister answered very neatly. "Poor." The prices offered by those unscrupulous artifact repairers of the Changfeng school are too expensive, and it is impossible to buy magical artifacts, even in this lifetime. Yi Qiao heard the words and gave a sincere suggestion. "Why don't you put up a basin and a pot for a try?" She was able to set up formations, but this method was not only tiring, but also exposed herself. "Where did you get it?" Zhu Yu weighed the pot in her hand. It was quite light. "I borrowed it from the cafeteria." She wanted to use it for alchemy before, but those pills were not good enough to hinder the appearance of the city, and there were 3 senior brothers who didn't need her for alchemy, so this pot has been left unused in front of it. "Practice again when you are free." "I still have 3 pots, what do you want?" Immediately the 3 brothers did not hesitate. "Yes." Yi Qiao held the pot by herself, and the other 3 senior brothers each held a pot on their foreheads, and the monks outside were stunned. Yi Qiao didn't bring serious things when she entered the secret realm this time, but she really brought everything else. The sword-asking Sect next to him was stunned. Yi Qing'an blinked vigorously. After making sure that this scene was not his hallucination, he looked hesitantly at the cauldron in her hand, feeling a little embarrassed. "This is too ugly. But I have to say, it seems to be quite useful." Yi Qing'an wanted to speak but stopped watching for a long time, and finally looked at her expressionlessly and asked, "Do you still have the pot?" Yi Qiao didn't turn her head back. "It's gone." She does not engage in wholesale. Seeing this, Yi Qing'an could only shut up, relying on physical skills to move forward in the rain. Compared with the miserable wind and rain like Zhangjianzong, Changmingzong was much more relaxed. The three of them chatted casually, without any sense of tension. Yue Qingzong is also rushing to the wind beast's lair with the formation. Seeing this, several inner sect elders outside the court muttered in their hearts. To be honest, the effect of consuming spiritual energy along the way. It's better to learn how to put a pot on Yi Qiao's head. Ordinary oil paper umbrellas can't stop corrosive rainwater, but pots can. The rain falls on the top of the four people's heads with a strange sense of rhythm. The closer you are to the position of the wind beast, the more you can feel the strength of the surrounding wind and sand. When the rain gradually stopped and Yi Qiao put away the pot, the two teams stood in a row. People from Yue Qingzong are coming soon. Yi Qing'an squinted his eyes. I'm going to deal with their sect sword cultivator. He looked at Zhou Exingyun. If you are with me, the speed will be faster. Yue Qingzong has 4 talisman cultivators and 1 golden core stage sword cultivator. Although Yi Qing'an can deal with it alone, he wants to fight quickly. Both Zhou Exingyun and Yi Qing'an became famous when they were young, and the guesses about the strength between the two are only estimates given by the outside world. In fact, he has never fought against Zhou Exingyun. So far, no one has ever seen the sword in Zhou Exingyun's hand unsheathed. Zhou Exingyun pretended to be stupid, with a blank expression on his face. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Yi Qing'an took a deep breath, and said in a cold voice, we cooperate. Yu Zhangmingzong must show some sincerity. They have so many sword cultivators. Isn't it simple to join hands to fight the 4 talisman cultivators of Yue Qingzong? Yi Qiao looked at the male protagonist's expression of only wanting to win, touched his chin, and found that the plot seemed to collapse. Now Yi Qing'an only wants to conquer Yue Qingzong, and he never thought about it. Is there Yun Q among the 4 talisman repairers? In the novel, when Zhanzong went smoothly all the way, and Yun Q also worked hard with the hero in the second scene. This may be the last time Yue Qingzong was disturbed by her for the first time. Song Han was so angry that he yelled at Yun Q and gave him a lesson, which caused Yun Q to not stay with Yi Qing'an like in the original book. Zhou Exingyun heard that he wanted sincerity, so he immediately pushed Yi Qiao over. The sincerity of our Changming sect is here. As for the double cultivation of sword and talisman, the little junior sister is now the greatest sincerity of Changmingzong. Yi Qing'an's forehead bulged, thinking that Zhou Exingyun was humiliating himself. Seeing that the main man was so angry that he ran away, Yi Qiao hurriedly stepped forward to comfort him. Don't be angry, let's help. Can't we help? Can't you trust our Changming sect? We are all honest people. Only now did Yi Qing'an look a little better. Count a few of them with a wink. Hearing this, Zhu Yu took advantage of her height and pressed her head, and the two of them turned around together, secretly discussing in a low voice, are you really helping Zhangjianzong? Believe it or not, after we finish solving Yue Qingzong, Yi Qing'an will deal with us next. Changmingzong. Sword-seeking Zong's character is not good. Yi Qiao, it's okay, we are not good people anyway. Zhu Yu. Song Hansheng didn't know where he hid his identity card. Yi Qiao thought it might be placed on the only sword cultivator of Yue Qingzong. Therefore, she didn't have any objections to fighting Yue Qingzong's sword cultivator first. 2 costumes, 1 red and 1 white, each stood in a row. Seeing this, Song Hansheng frowned, realizing that something was wrong. These 2 sects are still working together. Didn't the Zhanjian sect never bother to join forces with the weak sect? The secret realm cooperation all belong to the model of one belt and one. Cheng Fengong fights alone, and Yue Qingzong and Bishuazong have reached a deal. They protect the Bishuazong, and the Bishuazong is responsible for providing them with pills. It takes a lot of energy to set up the formation. Without pills to repair them, they can't last for too long. Yi Qing'an wants to rely on the talismans left by Mingxuan to make it smoother in the secret realm, right? A group of brainless swordsmen, I don't know what kind of madness they're doing all day long. Su Juo snorted, extremely disdainful. What Su Juo said, I didn't have any brains to hang you up not long ago. Yi Qiao, who are you saying has no brains? No, Yi Qiao is a double cultivator of two ways. Strictly speaking, it is indeed different from a brainless sword cultivator. In the end, the audience came to a conclusion. This Su Juo probably never suffered the beating from Yi Qiao. Actually, if Yi Qiao had stayed in Yuqingzong, then Yuqingzong would have had 2 sword cultivators and 5 talisman cultivators. After all, Yi Qiao is worth 2. Yes. Who wouldn't want a disciple who cultivated both ways? As long as the talent is higher, one can beat 2. Yun Hen looked at the gloating eyes of the surrounding people, and he also regretted it. After all, it was just a stalk of spirit grass, and it was not worth the loss to let go of a disciple for such a trivial matter. But he wanted to save face, so he just forced himself to say in a low voice. It's just a middle-grade spiritual root. Even if it is 2 ways of double cultivation, it is only a half-baked person in the end. Elder Zhao smiled slightly. Aren't those of you who have all the best spiritual roots in the field still the last one? No matter how high your spiritual roots are, it won't affect your last one. The elders taunted and ridiculed, and the personal disciples in the field were also very lively. Ellipsis. The moment Song Hansheng and Yi Qing'an met, he felt something was wrong, but he didn't panic. In the ancient battlefield, their talisman cultivation had a field advantage. After Mingxuan was eliminated, the secret realm is now their Yuqingzong's world. Yi Qing'an didn't talk nonsense with him, he just picked up the sword and did it. The cold light was everywhere, and the formation followed. The strong spiritual power fluctuated, and the coercion of the 2 golden elixirs made Yi Qiao's unsuitable movements stagnate for a moment. Seeing this, Zhou Exingyun released coercion to cover her together. With a sudden light on her body, Yi Qiao raised her head and smiled at Zhou Exingyun, then took a step back quietly, using the height of several senior brothers to cover herself. Almost at the moment when the 2 groups fought, she pinched a formula with her fingertips, and Yue Qingzong's formation began to rotate. The confinement formation spread out silently from under the feet, and locked several members of Chang Mingzong in the formation. What? If I'm not mistaken, Yi Qiao made this formation himself, right? You read that right, she has been quietly setting up her formation since she arrived. What is it called? I trapped myself. Song Hansheng was also taken aback when he saw the 4 Changmingzong people who were trapped. Wait. He didn't trap Yi Qiao and the others inside. He glanced suspiciously at his junior brother. Could it be Su Juodu's confinement array? Because the pattern of the formation was indeed their Yuqingzong's formation, Song Hansheng and the other juniors and sisters never suspected anything. It's just that the opponent has set up the formation in advance. The culprit, Yi Qiao, stood in the formation, looked at the 2 groups of people fighting, and raised her voice suddenly. We can't get out. What should we do? Who will save us? Zhu Yu. Seeing how devoted these people were to fighting, no one cared about her at all. Yi Qiao put away her expression, quickly observed the situation outside, and sat down neatly cross-legged. Okay, let's let them fight for a while. No one knew that Yi Qiao would break the formation. They all thought that Chang Mingzong would not be able to get out for the time being, and when the 2 groups fought, they had no worries at all. Flying sand and rocks, 5 elements formation. Yi Qiao waited for them to consume almost, and then she broke the formation to collect the heads. Looking at this scene, Zhai Chen didn't know whether it was fear or awe. He muttered, "Sao.